Welcome back. It's time now for Media Watch, and for that I'm joined by James Creedon.
Good evening,
James. The hostage-taking in Algeria has generated, not surprisingly, a lot of reaction on the web, hasn't it? But you've got some media reaction, haven't you?
That's right. Well, first of all, a look at Algeria Focus, a website based in Algeria. Now, for them, this is the first consequence of the offensive in Mali. They state it in black and white in the first line of their article on the website. They go on to say as well that this is striking at the very heart of Algeria's economy in the Sahara with these base pétrolières, petrol bases as they call them. Now on Twitter, just some reactions to show you there as well. Annette, kidnapping in Algeria shows jihadis in North Mali can move easily across border a border that the government says is closed. Now, I think there's a couple of things to say about that tweet. First of all, we don't know that they came in from northern Mali. And second of all, that border is just not possible to close anyway, but that's what the Algerian government said. So this tweet also pointing out that this is a particularly difficult situation for Algiers to find themselves in. This tweet in French says, in any case, Algiers has failed if they wanted to avoid getting involved indirectly in this Sahel conflict, because Algiers was in a particularly difficult position where there were dealings with France in the run up to the offensive in Mali, or France getting involved in Mali rather, and Algiers felt that they were kind of left behind, or that they weren't properly informed as to what went on. In any case, they're now fully involved.
And of course, having said that, the French intervention in Mali is actually very popular at the moment within Mali itself, isn't it?
That's right. And one of the indicators, perhaps surprisingly, is that quite a few children apparently in the past few days have been christened, or perhaps, what would you say, named, I suppose is a more appropriate generic term, Hollande, in honour of the French president. And that's an article in Slate.fr picking up on local media. Now, that's not the first time that French president has been thus honoured. In fact, Nicolas Sarkozy, at the end of his presidency, when a law was passed banning the denial of genocide, an Armenian couple called their child first name Sarkozy. Poor child, I think you'd have to say. And Jacques Chirac was honoured in 2001 by an Armenian couple as well, when twins were named Jacques and Chirac.
Aha, wow.
Poor them.
Now, Hollande's intervention in Mali is not only popular within the African nation, but also here in France, where a poll has shown that 75% of the population is backing the operation. That's quite a high figure,
It's
actually.
very high indeed. And it's also high. It's high on the right, high on the left. The median is 75%. It's huge backing for this, I suppose, involvement, which for now is seen by the French people as being completely legitimate. Now, others, such as the former president Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, he answered some questions on the Le Monde website today, and he said, look, we're risking being tarred as neo-colonialists and engaging in neo-colonial action if this doesn't end quickly. And he also said, look, these are airstrikes. There could well be, in fact, there probably will be civilian casualties, very popular in Mali for now, but what about later on down the road if this continues and there are civilian casualties? So he is voicing those concerns.
And not to mention, of course, here in France, when inevitably there are body bags that are returned to the country.
And so popular for now, I think is the word.
Now, changing our tune somewhat, last Sunday, hundreds of thousands of demonstrators.
I took that out. I'm sorry. I should have told Annette. We're moving to the next question.
Okay, I'm terribly sorry.
My fault entirely.
Okay, you're to blame. No baby will be named after you, James Creedon.
Not in the next few days, anyway.
A Twitter exchange
That's
between a French local official and school students has got a lot of media attention here.
That's right. And it's just a silly little exchange. But basically what happened, lots of snow in France in the last couple of days. In the Moselle region, school children were really, really hoping that school would be cancelled and that the local school bus would not be taking them. And the person in charge of that is the local préfet, a sort of a senior administrative figure in the département. So what happened was they got onto Twitter and they started directly I suppose, carpet spamming his Twitter account. And we have some of them here. One saying, any way you could please, prevent me from dying on the road because it's so dangerous by cancelling this. And he said, oh, very nice demands, but we've decided to keep the roads open. Another one here saying, telling him not to be so mean. And he said, hold on a minute, are you using the adequate tone? And further down, somebody actually called him a pute, which is a very rude word in French.
Oh, it is.
And there was Nick Tamer, all sorts of rude expressions that he then very quickly said this is not the appropriate tone. So Twitter, the scene of all sorts of strange exchanges in the past 24 hours in France.
Thank you for that, James Creedon. That's James Creedon, of course, with Media Watch. And do stay with us because we're going to have more news and sport after this short break.